Deep in the heart of Kentucky sits a fortress, not just any fortress, mind you. This is Fort Knox, home to a legend made of gold, lots and lots of gold. We're talking enough gold to make a dragon jealous. This is where the US stores a big chunk of its gold reserves. Think of it like America's savings account, but instead of dollar bills, it's shimmering gold bars. It's a symbol of American wealth and power. Or is it? For decades, Fort Knox has been shrouded in secrecy. It's one of the most secure places on Earth, with enough security measures to make a Bond villain jealous. We're talking armed guards, impenetrable vaults, and enough lasers to make a disco jealous. But this secrecy has a downside. It's fueled rumors and speculation. Some people even whisper that the gold is gone. Now, I'm not saying the government is hiding anything, but wouldn't it be nice to know for sure? After all, this is the people's gold. We deserve transparency. We deserve to know what's really going on behind those impenetrable walls. We deserve a peek inside Fort Knox. Now, you might be thinking, surely they check on the gold regularly, right? You'd think so, wouldn't you? But here's the kicker, the last time Fort Knox had a full audit was in the 1950s. That's right, folks, the same decade we had poodle skirts and Elvis. Sure, there was a partial audit in the 70s, but that's like checking the fridge and only looking at the milk. You need to see the whole picture. Since then, crickets. Years have turned into decades, and the gold has just been sitting there, untouched, unaudited, and frankly, a little lonely. Now, I'm not saying there's anything fishy going on, but the lack of transparency is a bit like your partner refusing to show you their phone. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? The government says audits are expensive and unnecessary. They claim the gold is safe and sound. But here's the thing, trust is a two-way street. And right now, the government is driving on the wrong side of the road. The American people deserve better. They deserve to know their gold is actually there. The good news is, people are starting to ask questions. And they're not just whispering in dark corners anymore. They're shouting it from the rooftops. Politicians, journalists, and even regular folks like you and me are demanding answers. We want to know what's going on with our gold. One of the loudest voices calling for an audit is Senator Rand Paul. This guy's been on a mission for years to pry open the Fort Knox vault. He's been writing letters, giving speeches, and generally making a nuisance of himself in the name of transparency. And you know what? Good for him. Someone needs to hold the government accountable. But it's not just politicians. Remember those whispers about the gold being gone? Well, they've turned into a dull roar on the internet. Social media is buzzing with conspiracy theories and demands for an audit. And you know what they say? The internet never forgets. The pressure is on, folks. The government can't ignore the people forever. Sooner or later, they're going to have to address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the gold bar in the vault. Section 4. Elon Musk, tech visionary or gold auditor. Now you might be thinking, what's Elon Musk got to do with all this? Well, buckle up because this is where it gets interesting. You see, Elon's not just a tech genius who sends rockets into space and builds electric cars, he's also a bit of a Twitter enthusiast. And you know what happens on Twitter, people say crazy things. So when someone jokingly suggested that Elon should audit Fort Knox, he didn't shy away. Oh no, he jumped right in. He even suggested using his company's technology to do it. Now, I don't know if Elon was serious or just messing around, but it got people talking, didn't it? Suddenly the idea of a Fort Knox audit wasn't just some fringe conspiracy theory. It was being discussed by one of the most famous people on the planet. And you know what they say? Any publicity is good publicity. Section 5, Experts Weigh In, the case for a Fort Knox audit. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, this is all very entertaining, but what do the experts say? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because it turns out, a lot of experts think a Fort Knox audit is a pretty good idea. And they're not just talking about the gold, either. For starters, an audit would be a huge boost for transparency and public trust. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's really going on with the US gold reserves. An audit would clear the air and show the world that America is being upfront about its assets. But it's not just about appearances. An audit could also help to stabilize the global gold market. Gold is a finite resource and its price is influenced by supply and demand. Knowing exactly how much gold the US has would give investors more confidence and reduce speculation. And let's not forget about the potential economic benefits. A full audit of Fort Knox would be a massive undertaking, creating jobs and boosting the local economy. Plus, Plus, it would give the US a chance to show off its technological prowess in auditing and security. Section 6. A global perspective, the US and the world's gold. Now let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. The US isn't the only country with a gold reserve. In fact, central banks around the world hold tons of the shiny stuff. And guess what? Many of them are a lot more transparent about their holdings than the US. Take Germany, for example. They've been gradually repatriating their gold from foreign vaults and have even allowed public tours of their reserves. Or how about China? They've been steadily increasing their gold holdings in recent years and have been more open about their intentions. The point is, the US is lagging behind when it comes to transparency. In a world where trust is paramount, clinging to secrecy just doesn't make sense. It's time for the US to step up and show the world that it's a responsible and accountable custodian of its gold reserves. Section 7. The future of Fort Knox. What happens next? So, what does the future hold for Fort Knox? Will we finally get a glimpse inside America's golden fortress? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the pressure for transparency isn't going away anytime soon. The calls for an audit are getting louder, the experts are weighing in, and even Elon Musk is getting involved. The government can't ignore this issue forever. Sooner or later, they're going to have to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the gold bar in the vault. The future of Fort Knox is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the American people deserve